Hey everyone, welcome to another ToraNin video. In the OG Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, we lost a lot of awesome characters we'd grown attached to. Some were heroes and others were villains. But there were a lot of characters who survived the end of one of the greatest anime stories ever told, and I suppose we thought, hey, they'd live happily ever after. Considering how happy-go-lucky the first 50 episodes of Boruto was, I honestly forgot that this was still within the Narutoverse and that there was a chance that once Boruto got serious, we might be saying goodbye to some more memorable characters from Naruto and perhaps some from Boruto as well. So far, Boruto has had a few casualties, and some of those deaths have had ripple effects across the entire Naruto fanbase. One of those deaths was that of Onoki, Iwagakure's third Tsuchikage, and a man known as the legendary fence sitter. This video isn't going to be about Onoki's death though. I'm just pointing out that it is sad that this awesome character is no more. This video is really about Onoki, the shinobi, what made him awesome, and the legacy he left Boruto's generation and really the rest of the shinobi world. Ready? Let's get into it. Onoki is a grandchild of the first Tsuchikage, Ishikawa, who was stated in the anime to be a member of the Kamizuru clan. For those of you who don't know, the Kamizuru clan were an insect user shinobi clan, much like the Abumare clan of Konoha. Unlike the Abumare clan, which used many insect types for various reasons, the Kamizuru clan were known to specialize in the use of bees. Since most shinobi who are members of clans take the clan's name as their last name, that would make Onoki Onoki Kamizuru. However, right up until his death, Onoki never displayed any insect-style ninjutsu. This strongly suggests he did not learn or master the ninja techniques of the clan or the bug secrets of his grandfather. We all know Onoki has Earth Release, and one of his advanced Earth Release powers is the ability to make the density of things heavier or lighter for different purposes. Onoki's ability to fly comes from him taking that body mass density Earth Release manipulation and applying it to himself. Onoki lightens his body, which in turn gives him the ability to fly. The only way this would be possible is if Onoki could make himself less dense than air, as he has no aerodynamic structures whatsoever. How light does he need to be? The average human has a density of 1000 kg per meter cubed. To be able to fly, Onoki's Earth Release Jutsu must lighten him to a density of less than 1.225 kilograms per meter cubed, which is the density of air. That is a ridiculous change in density. It also has the drawback of severely weakening the attack potency of his physical attacks. That is most likely why Onoki prefers to use his dust release when in flight. Speaking of dust release, Onoki was undoubtedly one of the most powerful and versatile shinobi to ever live. His chakra reserves were formidable enough to allow him fight on equal footing with shinobi decades younger than he was, and his versatility of jutsu meant that he had several ways to hurt his enemies. None of his jutsu was more feared than his Keke Tota, the dust release. This jutsu was effectively a matter disintegrator that could turn its target into dust by destroying it at the molecular level. Whatever this Keke Tota hit was effectively eradicated from existence. Inanimate objects, sentient beings, jutsu, landscapes, it didn't matter. The dust release was effectively a one-shot that assured certain death for the target it encompassed. There are only two known ways to counter this jutsu, with an equally or more powerful dust release, or with a space-time jutsu that allows one quickly escape the kill zone of the jutsu. Onoki's resoluteness in the face of adversity is the stuff of legends. His will is forged from Iwagakure's will of stone philosophy, which emphasizes a shinobi being able to ensure their inner will, their bedrock, and the core of their being remain strong throughout the trials of their life. This philosophy is extended to one of the hardest trainings in Iwagakure, where shinobi in search of their heartstone are sent to the Sanzu Plains, a place where no jutsu can be used and one cannot escape until the heartstone is found. Onoki's will was shown during the Fourth Great Ninja War, particularly when the five Kage fought Madara. Despite being the oldest of the Kage, Onoki quickly became the rallying point and the backbone of that group, saving them and the Shinobi Alliance on multiple occasions. He also proved himself to be a great team player, combining well with the Raikage, Hokage, and Kazekage to either boost the power of their attacks by adding density or their mobility and the mobility of their jutsu by removing density. Onoki's will was demonstrated once more at the very end of his life when he fought Ku, and despite being 100 years old and several decades past his prime, overwhelmed Ku's dust release particle style with his own. That demonstration, plus the repeated advice on the Will of Stone that he had given to Naruto, and more importantly to a very laid-back Boruto's generation, lit a fire in the young shinobi and awakened their desire to train hard to obtain genuine power through that process, the power and will to protect that which mattered to them most. Onoki was known as the legendary fence sitter due to his knack for not rushing to decisions or taking any decisive actions at all unless absolutely necessary. Onoki was a strategist who preferred to put himself on both sides of an argument or a problem in order to have a holistic view of the issue and make the best decision, usually for Iwagakure. He did this regardless of how those decisions would affect the other great nations. To him, the strength, prosperity, and safety of Iwa outweighed any opportunity to foster relations with a fellow great nation. This approach to leadership was one he had inherited from his grandfather as well as Lord Mu, the second Tsuchikage. While Onoki's scale weighing ability has its advantages, it also can be a double-edged sword, as it has historically made him and Iwagakure appear to be allies you couldn't trust in the long term. It has also led to Onoki at times using underhanded tactics to achieve what he believed would be the greater good for his people. This is shown as he had used the Akatsuki at times to foster his goals, as well as his end-of-life creation of the fabrications he hoped would replace young shinobi as an army to fight for the village. Despite his layered personality, and despite some of the approaches he's taken before, Onoki was a good shinobi at heart, who strove to protect his people, the shinobi world, and the peace of the world after the Fourth Great Shinobi War. What are your thoughts on the life and impact of Onoki? Let me know in the comments below and let's talk about it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on these social media platforms and reach out to me there. As always, thanks for watching. Jana.